College sports are no different than slavery. These words coming from Chris Rock. Although Chris Rock never played college sports, him and many others are arguing that college sports needs to pay their athletes. So, do you think it would be alright to be exploited for your talents? I don't think so. And as for a high school student looking to go on to the next level, I find it hard to maybe think of a way to pay for college and have a next level education that would be feasible. So how could it be fair for someone to work hard and not get paid for their service in return? That is why I think college should pay their athletes in return for their services. In most cases, people go to their jobs, they work about 10 hours, they become exhausted, and then they go home. Now, just imagine yourself being a college athlete who wakes up at the crack of dawn, then goes to class, and then has to go to practice for 2 to 3 hours. Which, followed up by that, he has to go and work about 4-hour job, just so he can have food for the next morning. Now, this is the real life reality for many college athletes. And what's really scary is that could be me in this next coming year. Most people who receive a full ride tuition, which is about $25,000, it pays for about tuition, housing, books, and food, but that's just a small amount of people. 1% out of every 7 million athletes receives a full ride education. So what about all these other athletes? They're left to go and work jobs and try to become a top level athlete. So, you know, a lot of people are arguing, yeah, they're receiving a high level education. That may be true, but in some cases, colleges aren't giving that in return. The North Carolina basketball team has been filing a lawsuit against the university, saying that the university has been giving them paper classes, which means that they just can pass them through onto their next class, their next core class, so that they can graduate. So if colleges aren't holding up their end of the deal, why should college athletes remain amateur? And for some athletes that are deciding whether to go pro or not, for either in Europe or to go to college, it's a pretty easy decision. Manuel Mudiay is a perfect example of this. He went to China instead of going and playing in college, and he made $1.3 million last year in China. And now he went back over into the NBA, and he is playing for the Denver Nuggets and has increased his salary like 2-folds. So why should college athletes stay if they aren't going to get paid? And that's a tough question for people to answer, because there is no reason. So what brings me to my next point. How would colleges pay their athletes? The NCAA received $1.15 billion in ads in their 2013 basketball tournament. And that's a huge chunk of change, and not a single cent went to any of the athletes. And it's not just the NCAA that's reaping in the benefits of this. The colleges, like Alabama, also has been taking advantage of this. The University of Alabama received $143 billion in 2014 off of games, ads, and anything of that sort. So it's not a question of if they have enough money, which they clearly do. So why can't they pay their athletes? And that is a very good question that most people just don't have an answer for. Patrick Ewing once told an anecdote about his mentor, Bill Russell. Bill Russell told him that any system that gets free labor is slavery. So, in your eyes, how do you view the NCAA taking advantage of these young kids just